Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Since I'm deeply invested in this series, I decided to talk about each Danish film individually, and today I'm going to discuss about the second one, Department Q, the absent one. So, let's start. As we know from the first film, Department Q, the Keeper of Lost Causes, Department Q is a special unit within the Danish police that investigates unresolved cases. Detective Karl Mørck, together with his partner Assad, are assigned to a murderer case dating back 2 decades. In 1994, twins Thomas and Marie were found brutally murdered in a cabin. The case was quickly closed. A young man from a modest family, Björn, was convicted of the crime, but the evidence was weak and seemed conventionally arranged to protect others. The twins' father, a former police officer, obsessively investigated the case for years and eventually left Detective Karl Mørck a complete file notes before taking his own life. Mørck, his colleague Assad, and their new secretary Rose, who appears here for the first time, unlike the English version where she's introduced from the beginning, and Hardy is no longer present nor even mentioned, apart from his initial appearance where he remained paralyzed, reopened the case. The three of them discovered that the real culprits may be former students of an elite boarding school, Dept, now highly influential businessman, Ulrich, a respected doctor, and Kimmie, a girl who disappeared and now lives on the streets. In 1990s, these three were part of a violent group of privileged youth who abused and tortured other students. Kimmie is the key. She ran away because she had witnessed and been involved in the 1994 murders. She was also abused and assaulted, beaten until she lost a 4-month pregnancy, and forced to sleep with a teacher to falsely accuse him of rape to save her boyfriend Dept from failing grades. Mørck and Assad eventually track her down, but she's deeply traumatized, fearful, and hesitant to testify. As the investigation progresses, it becomes clear that the twins' murders were not random. Dept and Ulrich, together with Kimmie, directly participated in the crimes. Dept and Ulrich, now respected adults with political and financial powers, do everything they can to cover up their past, including threats and violence. In the end, the truth comes to light. Dept and Ulrich are exposed, and Björn, the wrongfully convicted man, is posthumous exonerated. Kimmie, after years of guilt and hiding, finds the courage to come forward and plays a decisive role in their downfall. She finally delivers justice for the wrongs of her youth. Even though it's too late, she accepts her share of guilt. The ending is grim and realistic, like corruption and privilege kept the truth buried for 20 years. And justice doesn't mean a happy ending, but simply that the guilty are finally confronted. So kind of this is the whole story of the movie. Now I want to talk about the difference between the film and the book. So the book offers far more depth into Kimmie's psychology. In the novel, several chapters explore her life on the streets, her teenage memories, and the way she's haunted by her past. The film condenses these aspects, presenting her more as a mysterious figure without delving as deeply into her trauma and motivations, which is very understandable since the movie lasts only 2 hours. Yet, from what's shown, the emotional depth still comes through. Karl Mørck in the novel is even more cynical and irritable, with more detail given to his personal life, like his flat relationships, frustrations. The film simplifies and focuses more on the investigation. Personally, I would have liked it to match the book more closely, even though in the film he is indeed grumpy. Grumpy, social, and unlikable. He could have been even more so, to highlight the contrast between Karl and Assad and how Assad is the only one who can tolerate him. Also, in the novel, Rose's relationship with Assad is full of humor and cultural contrasts. The film keeps only part of the dynamic. In the book, Rose has a more prominent role, chaotic yet charismatic. In the film, she's more restrained, but still brings energy. There's also a major difference between the Danish Rose and the English one. The Danish Rose is independent and asserts her view on her own, whereas the English Rose manages to do so with Hardy's and Assad's support. The book's ending is longer and more violent, with greater direct tension in the final confrontation with Dept. The film tones down some of the thriller intensity, making it more cinematic and digestible without losing its essence. Still, I found the film extremely intense and violent, though the ending felt a little bit odd. Dept and Ulrich seem to get off too easily for me, so they should have suffered more in my opinion. Yet, the film's dark atmosphere blends perfectly with its characters and storylines. Personally, I found this film better than the first, Department Q, The Keeper of Lost Causes, mainly because of the story, as all the Danish Department Q films share the dark tone, which I really enjoy. Overall, the film is a condensed, more cinematic version of the novel, which is natural since the film lasts only 2 hours, whereas reading the book, well, takes far longer. So please, tell me in the comments what did you think of the film and what impression did it leave on you.